You're watching Oilers Nation every day with Tyler Yaremchuk. Your one-stop shop for all things Oilers.
Liam, could you pass me the Stuart Skinner heater? Oh, my God. All right, that's good. Can you give me a little bit of the Connor McDavid goal scoring run? Oh, yeah. That's good. And why don't you get me just a little bit? Let's crack in a little plus 25 day in Edmonton. Oh, we're cooking up a Game 4 victory for the Oilers. Let's get into it with the lead.
Let's throw in the shell, mix it in. Oh, yeah. Maybe a little bit of liquid. Let me get
yeah. You need to. Who let us cook? Welcome. I got egg on my hand. Can you get me a napkin, Aaron?
Yes.
Welcome. Also, all those ingredients have been in the fridge for months, and they're very moldy, so we didn't really waste anything. Welcome into Oilers Nation every day. We're live from the Sports Closet studio, from jerseys to hats to the legendary foam finger. You can get it all and more at the Sports Closet. We're cooking. We're in the lab today. Oilers. Oh, I got moldy butter on my leg now. That's so gross. All right.
Smells good. Aaron, could you please take this away? Yeah. Where's Reese when you need him?
Yeah, wait, where is... Oh, he's recording Ask Doobie.
Thanks, Aaron.
All right. Thank you.
Yep. You know what? Just throw out the pan.
Louie DeBrusk will bring a sense of legitimacy to the show later on. He's back. He's ready to roll. The show, as always, a presentation of Bet365. Download the app today. Use the code NATION, whatever the moment. It's never ordinary at Bet365. The YouTube chat, which I think you guys are loving it. They're brought to you by Odd Company Brewing and the Nation Beer Everyday Lager. Way more delicious than whatever Liam and I just cooked up. Odd Company Brewing, 2 locations in the Edmonton area. Liam, all the ingredients are there for this Oilers team. Stuart Skinner's playing the best hockey he's played in a calendar year.
Yeah.
Connor McDavid's coming off a 2-goal performance. That goal-scoring energy is waking up, and the Edmonton Oilers are damn good when it comes to Game 4. You could almost add on, they're damn good when it's games 4 through 7 in a series. So now that you finally have a series lead, I don't know, reason to be optimistic.
Oh, I have every reason to be optimistic. This team hasn't really let us down in the pivotal moments, I would say, this year. I think for the most part, when push comes to shove, the Oilers are the team that steps up and pushes aside their opponent. I'm very confident about tonight. I'm very level-headed about tonight. I know this team is going to show up, and I know they are going to win.
Yeah, I mean, I'm certainly a little bit more nervous about this one than I think you are, but we've kind of both been on these sides of things throughout these playoffs. Lots of reasons to be confident in this hockey team. They've shown a level of maturity that they really haven't in years past. I'd like to say it's maybe even like a little bit newfound, right? Like they don't get rattled. They don't seem to be getting, and maybe even maturity is not the right way, but in the past we've seen them get a little bit too high on themselves at times.
Yeah.
And they start to feel too good and they forget to do some of the basics or whatever. That hasn't been the case this year. You look at the way they went pedal down against the Vegas Golden Knights, that's a prime example of this whole thing.
Yeah, totally is. I think it is a level of maturity and just like you've been there and done it, right? Like you look at a lot of these players and the depth, this might sound weird, but like it's kind of the big guys that are just showing up now.
Yep.
Like the depth is still arriving and they're playing their roles in this, but like you said, you got McDavid scoring, Draisaitl's got a couple of points in this too. Evander Kane quietly had 3 points last game.
Really?
Nugent Hopkins has been their best player. And Zach Hyman finally gets a couple of goals on the board too. And they're doing all of this without Matthias Ekholm, who is still labeled as D today. But did you see last game? Wasn't labeled as an injured player, but a healthy scratch.
Really?
Yeah, I believe that was true.
I wonder what the difference is. I don't
know. I guess in the playoffs, probably none, but maybe just a typo.
Yeah, honestly, maybe just a typo. Okay, we got a ton of game day stuff to talk about there, but there is one big story. You see it on the whiteboard behind me here. Happy birthday to Ben Stelter. Today would have been Ben Stelter's 9th birthday. Obviously, sending our thoughts to the Stelter family. And as you guys know, all the comments that you put into our YouTube chat, all the super chats, I should say, go to the Ben Stelter Foundation. So I thought it would be nice today if maybe just let's flood it with $9 donations for Ben Stelter's 9th birthday. And I mean, there's a whole bunch of you that watch this show live on the YouTube. Drop in $9. Let's see how much money we can raise today.
Yeah, that would be really great if we were able to do that. I'll figure out a way that I can do that too when I find my wallet. Or maybe you could even pre and post game tonight, obviously going on as well.
Hey,
So
the ONAD family in the chat always shows up. Win, lose, or draw. I'm thinking tonight we're going to raise some money for Ben.
Also, because our love for Ben Stelter goes past whatever kind of sponsor stuff we have on the show. I know Popeyes is doing a fundraiser today as well. There's a Ben Stelter meal. Ben love Popeyes. So, again, if you're thinking for something for lunch today, you know what? I won't even blame you. If you skip out on the Yodel Noodle, you go get yourself some Popeyes in support of the Ben Stelter Foundation. They're doing a great job down there. So definitely wanted to give them a little bit of love today as well. But again, our thoughts with the Stelter family. Definitely not an easy day for them. Mike and Lee have been at, I think, almost every home game this year. I see them when I walk and they sell the bracelets. They're out there raising money. So again, they continue to do great stuff in Ben's name. And hopefully the Oilers can come through with a victory for them here tonight, and they can win one for Ben as they've been doing over the last couple of playoffs. Tim, Rusty, love that you guys are dropping in a quick little donation as well. Russ says, already donated $22. That was the number on his jersey. So yes, our thoughts with the Stelter family today. Edmonton looking to take a 3-1 series lead it's the swing game tonight, right? It's as simple as that. Game 4 in pretty much every series is always the swing game because, you know, if it's 2-1 either way, you have a chance to go 3-1 or have it be 2-2. And this one, I feel like, Liam, is it's like a swing game on steroids for me. You are up 2-1. If you can go up 3-1, that is going to feel like a 3-0, borderline 4-0 series lead where it's like you have this shit on wraps if you can win tonight. Momentum doesn't always carry over from game to game. That can be a dangerous thing. And in the Oilers' case, when you've played pretty well through 3 games in this series and you're up 2-1 because of the blown lead in game 1 and all that, there's a little bit of me that's like, man, you maybe haven't seen Dallas's best punch yet. Counter argument would be maybe the second period last game was Dallas's best punch. But if you haven't seen Dallas's true, full, best 60 whatever minute effort, we got to get to those because those are crazy. If you haven't seen that yet, and you let them back into this series, and it's 2-2 after tonight, and the series shifts back to Dallas. It's like, again, it's me being a naturally pessimistic person, a worried person, but I don't know, man. This is a big, big swing.
It is a huge game. It almost feels in a way like a weird must-win for both. Obviously, very different circumstances for both sides of it, but like you said, the Dallas. We talked about the depth and how. On paper, yes, they have it, but those guys haven't shown up consistently enough for them throughout these playoffs. They've been winning their series on the special teams, and Edmonton's done a really good job, minus game 1, obviously, of eliminating the special teams in favor of the Dallas Stars. So if you're able just to continue the momentum, I know he doesn't carry the game today, but I always have this feeling that, whilst the game will start even, as the game goes on, just picking a name, Jason Robertson misses a great chance.
Yeah.
That's going in his head. He's thinking about that. So the momentum in that sense would carry over, I would think. And if, again, Zach Hyman gets a goal, that goes well in his favor. And confidence, I guess, is what I'm saying more than momentum. So
that's a good way to put it, though, because, Jason Robertson found the back of the net last game. He was asked about it after the game.
Didn't know.
And he was like, oh, they gave me that one? I think that tells you a lot about the kind of zone Jason Robertson's in. Too. He's now played in 3 plus. He's played in 9 playoff games against the Oilers the last 2 years. He's only now scored in 2 of those 9 games. Continue.
Yeah, because he had a hat trick in one of them, so it looked great. It wasn't that great, to be honest. But over 54 playoff games, Jason Robertson has 15 goals, which is kind of crazy for a guy who's a good goal scorer in the regular season. Don't get me wrong, obviously. I think Wyatt Johnson's the one for me that you have to keep pushing down a little bit here. He just is in such a big hole. Someone put it in the chat. I missed the name, sorry, but minus 17 so far in the playoffs. And there's an interesting thing I was thinking about on the way in. Obviously, we'll get to it in the lineup report, but they have to change out Connor Brown for Victor Arvidsson. That's depth. It's not when Rupe Hintz gets injured and you have to put Oscar back into the lineup or Colin Blackwell, whoever came in. The Oilers are rolling right now. Everyone's contributing, and is fantastic to see.
It's not just Wyatt Johnson and his league-leading -17. Second worst in the league is Matt Duchene at -13 in these playoffs, and Jamie Benz at a -8. He is 6th in the league. So when you look at the top 6 for worst plus-minuses in these playoffs, 3 of the 6 are Dallas Stars. 2 of those 6 are Vegas Golden Knights, who got victimized by the Edmonton Oilers. So again, like, part of it is, and this is maybe where I'll start to just go back to the optimism side of things here really quick, right? Part of this is Wyatt Johnson's playing bad, Jamie Benn's playing bad, Matt Duchene's still not having a great series. But then you look at all those Vegas names. Jack Eichel's on the board for worst plus minus as well. 2 LA Kings in the bottom 10. Like 8 of the 10 worst plus minuses in the Stanley Cup playoffs are players who have had to play against the Edmonton Oilers. So at what point do you sit there and go, man, the other team's best players just continually don't show up against the Edmonton Oilers? The names on the list: Doughty, Eichel, Kempe, Ben, Barbashev, Theodore, Duchene, Johnston. At what point do you stop saying these other players are playing bad? And at what point do you just go, well, what's the common denominator here?
Yeah.
It's having to play against Leon Draisaitl. It's having to play against a blue line that has on their third pairing the league leader in plus minus in Jake Wallman. And plus minus flawed stat. Every stat's flawed to an extent. I get it. Expected goals. We did the whole bitch about that earlier on yesterday's show. But like, at what point do you just sit there and give flowers to the Edmonton Oilers? And at what point do you sit there, and I guess this is from my perspective, look at a 2-1 series lead for the Edmonton Oilers where they've got home ice back in their pocket. They've only lost once on home ice in the Stanley Cup playoffs. At what point do you sit there with the 2-1 lead and go, yeah, I do understand why this feels like more than just a 2-1 series lead?
I'm sitting here right now thinking, knowing why it's the way it is. And there's just a lot going right for Edmonton because they're playing just so well. And that's the thing for me is there was conversation yesterday online. I think it was Kevin Woodley on Gregor's show. It was like, Skinner's playing great, and he wasn't taking flowers away from him, but like, just the way they're playing defensively is incredible as well. Like, they're really limiting chances from Dallas. That game, that second period the other night was obviously in Dallas's favor, but Skinner made the saves in that moment. And in the other moments, their defense showed up.
Well, and then like Marvin drops in a comment that I like. He goes, one bad bounce can really foobar a hockey game. That's why hockey is wild. And I get it, but bad bounces go either way. Brett Kulak doesn't get called puck over the glass. Okay, that's a bad bounce for Dallas. You have to take advantage of it. It's the conversation. I think we've done this on the show, but like with the Kansas City Chiefs, when people are like, the Kansas City Chiefs get all the calls. They get every bounce. Well, no, they take advantage of it.
Yeah.
Right? Like when they get the 15-yard roughing the passer penalty, they don't settle for a field goal. They lock in and get a touchdown. Mm-hmm. When the Edmonton Oilers have a missed call that goes their way, in the case of Brett Kulak, they don't sit there on their heels and go, boy, are we ever lucky. They sit there and go, we're going to score 2 goals in the next 40 seconds and take advantage of the fact that Dallas just lost their mental for a little bit here. And when Dallas gets the break of Mikko Rantanen's stick hits himself in the face and they get a power play out of that, they don't score on it, right? Like, every team's going to get the breaks. What makes playing against the Oilers so dangerous, very similar to Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs, is like, if you give them an inch, they'll take a mile. Look at that Zach Hyman goal, the breakaway that sealed it up. Sure. That Dallas player wanted to pull his stick back because he thought it was going to be icing. They lost track of where Zach Hyman was. In one shot, a guy who hadn't scored yet in this series, hadn't scored in 5 or 6 games, finds the back of the net, seals up that hockey game, and this thing's over. Dallas had breaks the other way. They were hitting posts. They were getting stops. But like Edmonton, go back to LA. What happens when Quentin Byfield doesn't clear the puck? Does LA hold on for a 1-goal win?
Absolutely not.
When Edmonton gets their power play in overtime, does Edmonton cycle it around the outside and not take advantage of it?
They are cutthroat.
They're cutthroat and they take advantage of their opportunities. And if there's any reason to be confident in this Oilers team, that's exactly it. And as I wrote today, Oilersnation.com, I think the article comes out later. We talked about it yesterday. The turning point for this franchise to me still is that Connor McDavid goal in overtime. You got the break. Yeah. Blake Coleman's kick didn't count. The game goes to overtime. You end it, you kill them, and from that point on, the Edmonton Oilers have been one of the most successful playoff teams in the entire NHL, and you can say they haven't done the ultimate goal yet. I get it, But there's only 4 teams in the last 3 years who've won 30 or more playoff games. The Edmonton Oilers are one of those 4.
Florida and...
It goes Florida, Edmonton, Dallas, and Carolina.
Yes, ironically, Final 4.
Okay.
Tons of chat. Thank you so much to everyone that's donated.
Yeah.
You guys are the best.
So we got to give some shout outs here because we asked to donate money for Ben Stelter's birthday, and you guys, as you always do, just you all knocked it out of the park. Anna dropped in a donation. A dropped in a donation. Leon Hart dropped in one. Oily Accountant. Ryan, Darian, Amanda, our guy Ryan, the What the Futures podcast, dropped in $27.99. Original Posar, who we love very much, always a treat when he's watching live. He said, happy birthday, Ben. Should be a great night tonight. Oilers have proven to be the better team. They just need to continue doing what they've been doing. He dropped in $99. Rob dropped one in. Sean H. dropped one in. Jonathan, Eric, Hockey Jockey, Kate, everyone who dropped in donations, we love you. Cup Year, who dropped in $399.
He does that.
Thank you very much.
You do it all the time. You single-handedly, Cup Year, have donated thousands of dollars this year.
I will say thousands, 100%.
That's not even, we're probably pushing 4 or 5K that he's donated. You are amazing. You are what makes Edmonton Oilers fans so special. You are good stuff. $20 here. Diplomatico, who gives the happy birthday to Ben, but also says, can we help get the message out for the goalie chant? We need to get it right. It's not Jacob, not Otter, and not Jake. His first name is Jacob, so let's get it right, get in his head. So he wants us to do Jacob, sorry.
Is it Jacob?
I think you go Otter. Otter's catchier.
Yeah, that'd be a good one. I'll just laugh. When he could you imagine they score a goal and everyone just laughs hysterically?
Point laugh.
Just like what's the guy from The Simpsons called?
Ha ha.
Yeah, that guy. Everyone in the arena. That would be awesome. Also, one other thing with the donations, and you always do this, and I know why you do it, but it always makes me laugh. You always say Sean H, and that is his name. But his picture is Sean Horkoff.
I know,
but it just makes me laugh. I don't know. Sean H, and I just think of actual Sean Horkoff sat at his laptop donating to the Ben Stelter Foundation.
Ty, are you going to read bars for Ben?
And then a bars for Ben. That one came in from Mackay and Dry. Happy birthday, little guy. You're the reason our spirits are high. Boys will win. Skate on by. Raise the cup as our angel in the sky. There you go. Bars for Ben from Mackay and Dry. Good stuff, everybody. The donations, unreal. I kind of said off the jump, we wanted to raise $999 maybe.
I think we're pretty close.
We're at $715 and 33 cents.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're going to absolutely crush that.
Nelson. There you go. Thanks, Russ.
Nelson.
I can't remember his name from The Simpsons.
Louie DeBrusk is going to swing by in a few minutes' time. But first, Liam, let's get to some game notes for our friends at Star Mechanical today. Usually it's the Star Mechanical guest line. It's Edmonton's #1 plumbing and heating company. You can find out more about them at starmechanical.ca. Residential, commercial, 24/7 emergency service. They do it all. They do it well. Liam, yesterday, pouring rain.
Crazy day yesterday.
Insane storm. I go down into my basement. I got a leak coming from my vents.
That's not good.
I got Red from Star Mechanical dialed up. I'm like, if this gets any worse, didn't have to. Solve the problem myself. It's a big boy moment for me. Well, but Star Mechanical would have helped me if I needed them, if that got any worse.
You come from a strong bloodline.
I come from a family of plumbers, yes. A handful of them do actually work for Star Mechanical. All right, game notes. Edmonton, 10-2 in their last 12 playoff games, and Gregor pointed this out. They have dominated in those 12 games, outscoring the other team 48-29.
Damn.
That is something.
That is good.
Obviously, a 6-1 win last game really helps those numbers out. But again, 48 goals in their last 12 playoff games is remarkable. It's a team that's preventing at a very, very good rate. But also, again, if you give them an opportunity offensively, they have the skill and the talent to make you pay. The Edmonton Oilers now have 8 players with 4 or more goals in their last 12 games. So in that 12-game run, they have 8 players who are scoring at what would be a 27-plus goal pace in the regular season.
Okay. Is this what you want the timer for?
No.
Oh, okay.
That's something for fun later on.
Oh, that's good. It just shows the depth that they've kind of been going through here. Like, guys are just showing up in not even just like, they scored the 5th goal in a 5-0 win. Connor Brown scored the pivotal goal in game 2. The one that, I know it was 3-0, but it basically sealed the win for them. And Kapanen, obviously, in the overtime, it's been awesome to see. Something I didn't think I'd see in my lifetime. I have a game note, too, once you're done.
John Klingberg became the 18th Oiler to score a goal in the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Now, that one wasn't that important. That really goes against what I just said.
Yeah. The Edmonton Oilers undefeated in Game 4s under Chris Knobloch.
Yeah. 6-0.
6?
Yeah, that's what it's.
Oh, yeah, because they would have beat LA, beat Vancouver. Yeah, every series has a Game 4, obviously.
Yeah. So, we were
16-2 in games 4 through 7. Gregor did a lot of these game notes. They're over on Oilersnation.com, by the way. That number, 16-2 in games 4 through 7, unbelievable.
So one of those, obviously, Game 7 of the Cup final.
Yeah.
And the other one was against Vancouver. I think
Game 6.
Yeah,
Game 5.
Game 5, yeah.
Which they lost in the final minute.
Yeah,
right?
There you go. Last minute, you're right.
Both 1-goal games.
They really sucked in that game, though. I specifically remember being at Greta being like, how is this game not 10-0? But Calvin Pickett suddenly said that game. Credit to him. But yeah, the 6-0. We were trying to figure it out before the show, too, in moments that they've been able to take a 3-1 lead in the series. Last season against LA, obviously, they went on to win game 4 and become go up 3-1. And then, of course, this year against the Vegas Golden Knights. I don't think I missed any other ones. I think the rest of them are all to tie the series. The only one when they were down, obviously being in Florida last year in game 4 when they made it a 3-1 series and won 2 more and forced a game 7. I think.
Yeah.
I think I got to be more confident when I say that. I shouldn't say I think at the end, but like, yes, this is a fact.
If your stats are facts, you got to have the confidence.
Yeah.
You got to hit them.
Edit that, Aaron.
Okay. Yeah, clean that up a little bit for us, right? Are we live? We got a couple more donations. Tammy and Darren both dropped in happy birthday messages for Ben Stelter. Ugrumol. I shouldn't have tried to read that, but thank you for the donation. You guys are the best. We're getting close to $800 raised already, and we're only 21 minutes into the show for the Ben Stelter Foundation. So keep those coming in. We probably should have said we'd do something if we raised $9.99, but
it's good that it's just all go to a great cause.
It's all going to a great cause. Yeah, all of our super chats go to the Ben Stelter
I was
Foundation.
going to say something involving that concoction we made, but no.
Nope, because all of those ingredients are moldy. On that note, let's go out to our guest line for today. Louie DeBrusk's appearances on the show are brought to you by Litco Law. Litco Law plays for Team U. They're Alberta-rooted, Edmonton-proud, and when it comes to fighting for everyday folks, they don't back down ever. When insurance companies play dirty, they drop the gloves. If you've been injured and want someone to fight for your right to fair compensation, contact Litco Law. Stop by their office right here in Edmonton or visit them online at litcolaw.com. Lawyers you'll love, they do exist at litcolaw.com. Louie DeBrusk joins us as he does every week. There we go. We got Louie. That one was on us, though. Louie.
Yep.
Love having you back on.
That's my kind of law firm. Auto shed the gloves.
That is a great point.
There you go.
This confidence level that I think exists, and I mean, listen, we have our YouTube chat. There's 1,000 Oilers fans in there right now. Everyone's feeling very, very good about themselves going into this game. But this confidence level that not just the fan base, but the team has as well, how much of that is just a product of all those lessons you think they've learned over the last couple of years?
I think that's exactly what it is, Ty. We talk about momentum a lot in the playoffs and the fact that it doesn't seem to carry over from game to game, but you've heard multiple players say that experience does carry over. And I think that's what they're talking about. They're talking about the fact that they've been in these situations before. And it's no surprise, when you look at the teams that perennially are knocking at the door to get into the Stanley Cup final, or at least make the conference final. I'll think back to Tampa Bay doing it 3 years in a row, the Florida Panthers in the East now. Now Edmonton has been doing it in succession. This is their 3rd conference final in a handful of years. And, for me, that's kind of what it takes. It takes that ability to understand that this is going to be a war of attrition. It's going to be a marathon. It's not a sprint. And sometimes there's going to be ups and downs. This team's really, really good at settling in and weathering storms. And I don't think that's a skill they had 4 or 5 years ago. I think they had to learn that. That was a skill they had to learn. And unfortunately, the only way you learn that is by hard battles and hard lessons. And those hard lessons are usually losses and being eliminated from the playoffs and going home in the summertime, in the case of last year, as close as you can possibly be to your dream. So those kind of experiences harden you. And I think that is kind of what, when you listen to players talking, Darnell Nurse said it best. I had a conversation with him, at the end of the second round, and I said, I looked over in Vegas, in a really tight, hard-fought game. It's 0-0 going into overtime. And I'm looking at Edmonton's bench to my right, and I'm looking at Vegas to my left, 2 very veteran teams that have been through some experiences. And I was really impressed with how Edmonton was able to just stay in the moment. They weren't panicky. They were focused. They were dialed. And he said to me, that's just what our bench does. We're just that way. Whether we're up, whether we're down, we play the same way. We're not going to get rattled. We understand there's going to be ebbs and flows in games, and there's going to be ebbs and flows in series. So you can't teach that. You have to learn it. I think this team's learned a lot.
What have you made of Ryan Nugent-Hopkins so far in this series? I don't think it's a stretch to say he's been their best player.
I agree, Liam. It's nice to see, isn't it? Longest tenured Oiler, Nuge kind of coming through. 7 points, I believe, in the first 3 games. Pretty incredible. 3 primary assists in game number 3. It's all the little things. And I know that they've talked at length about all the things that Ryan Nugent-Hopkins does, not just the offense, but the penalty killing. He's on the #1 power play. He's put out there in key situations to defend, to win faceoffs, to make sure that, puck's getting out of the zone. He's on the defensive side of the puck. And I think sometimes because of that role for Nuge, I think that, it gets overlooked that this is still a very cerebral offensive player that at times can dominate. So it's good to see him coming forward in the conference final now when it starts to matter even more, and those points are so valuable in a game that is really tight at times, and you're looking for someone to break out and be that guy. It's been him in this series, and I agree he has been their best forward, no question. He's been their best player. He's put up a lot of points, and I think that just takes a little pressure off everyone else again. The one thing, and I heard you earlier say, Liam, 18 different players have scored a goal in this playoffs for Edmonton. That's impressive. That is really impressive dispersion amongst everyone, and it just makes you feel so good about your game. I think everybody on that bench, everybody in that room, whether you're getting injected out of the lineup, injected in, taken out, back in the lineup like maybe Victor Arvidsson does tonight. I know Matthias Ekholm looks like he's going to go potentially tonight as well. It's just next man up. It doesn't really matter who it seems they put in there. Kapanen comes in the second game in the playoffs, scores the overtime game-winning goal. Huge impact in that game, and a huge impact in the game before that, in Game 4. So I just think that this team's mentality right now, they've gotten tighter and tighter and tighter. I'll even say, at points during the season this year, guys, I felt, and this is just an observation from me, this isn't something, that there was a little bit of fracturing going on here and there. There was a carryover from the Game 7 loss. This team was not happy right from the get-go. You could even say they were grumpy. They had a chip on their shoulder right from the start of the year. And it was kind of taking them some time to get up and running. And there was a lot of changes that were going on. Guys that maybe weren't playing well at the start, guys that were fighting the puck a little bit. Puck wasn't going to the net for some people. And you could just tell there was some tension here and there. I like the way this team, though, as it's mattered more down the stretch in the regular season, and now even more as this playoffs is built, they're just getting tighter and tighter and tighter, and they're playing for one another. And it shows. It shows in the games.
Well, and I love that you're taking it in this direction, because I loved the Troy Stelter piece that's up at Sportsnet, how he talked about, paraphrasing a bit, but he's almost like, I don't care if I play or not, I want to win. And I do think that mindset, Louis, is a little bit of a byproduct of like Henrique and Perry and all these guys who have made their money in their career. Having a veteran team, I think, does lead a little bit to guys going, yeah, okay, play me 8 minutes tonight. I'm not going to bitch and moan and whine. I'm not going to be worried about how it's going to impact my next deal or my arbitration case in the summer. I've been around for a decade. I just want to win.
I agree, and I think sometimes it takes time to be able to understand that's kind of what's happening, right? And the good thing is here, and I want to excuse me, my voice is still a little bit raspy. I got called into duty on Sunday, by the way. I did the radio for the U.S. National Sports USA radio feed. The guys got stuck in Denver traveling, so Cam Moon and I stepped in there and did a game on the radio. So it's great to be back in the booth and call a game. So thanks for those guys for reaching out, and sorry that those guys couldn't make it, but they're back in the mix for tonight's game. So John Allers, Rick Hayward, and Billy Jaffe will call the game tonight for him. But, for me, I just think that they understand what they want. Every single player in that dressing room, and I'm not just saying Edmonton, I say when you get to the Final Four, but a team that lost it like they did last year in Game 7, it just really hammers home what's important for you during the season, what's important for you in the playoffs. There is one thing, and I know we can go back to Leon Draisaitl last year, cup or bust. He wasn't kidding. That was just him being honest. He wasn't sugarcoating that. That wasn't him trying to put out there a soundbite so everybody could look at it and repeat it and play it. That was the least thing on his mind. He was just bitter. He was sour. They felt that that's kind of what the expectation is for this group. That's a hefty expectation, but I think each and every year that they're together, and this core especially is together, they've been able to handle and withstand that weight and that pressure more and more. So it's a journey. It's a real journey. But I like the way this team's come together. And you're right. There's going to be guys that are on the outside looking in. There's going to be guys that aren't playing their regular time periods in the game. Maybe not on a power play you're used to being on, even the second unit. You're distributing this as much as you can. And I wanted to say earlier, I really credit the coaching staff. Chris Knobloch for making guys understand that they're important even though they're not in the lineup. I was a guy that was out of the lineup a lot. And sometimes you can get lost in the shuffle and you can feel really distant from your own team. I think it's really important to keep those guys in the mix and keep those guys feeling good about the opportunity that may come up. And it sounds like he did that with Kasperi Kapanen. He said, listen, keep yourself ready because you're going to get an opportunity potentially here and we're going to need you. Well, they did. They needed him. He scored a huge goal. And I think it's no different now with guys coming back into the lineup. Troy Stelter is awesome, by the way, isn't he? Isn't he a great interview? And he's so realistic. But I just think, again, Paul Coffey with that defense core, whether you're in, whether you're out, whether you play 25 minutes, whether you play 5, you're an important piece to that puzzle. So do what you can. Do what you can in each individual game you're there. If you're not in there, keep yourself ready because you might be next one. Not a bad mentality to have, and I think why this team's rooting for one another. I like hearing Troy Stelter talk about Kapanen scoring that goal. He was part of the Black Aces with him, and he said, I was really happy for him to go in there and have success and score a big goal.
I was just going to ask about the physicality of this series. I don't think there's just certain moments, obviously, like the nurse slash on Hintz, Bouchard on Nugent to the boards, Bouchard on Frederick, Petrovic on Brown. Like,
I thought he was hurt on that.
What did you make of all of this so far? Like, there seems to be a lot of conversation about like these are all dirty plays. Like, I just see them as they're all just kind of hockey plays, and unfortunately, Hintz got hurt. I don't think that was a dirty play by Nurse by any means. And even like the Petrovic, like he caught him in the chest, and unfortunately, kind of rode up and got him in the head.
I thought it was one of those hits, on Brown that, Petrovic's a big guy, right? I mean, he's a big guy that comes in there, he steps in. He wasn't elevating up into the head. He did come up and catch it a little bit. It was a hard hit that we caught him. Caught him with his head down, watching the puck, and Brown's not afraid to make a play on the wall and take a hit. Unfortunately, it dinged him up, and here it is here. It's kind of, he has a whole body. I don't think the thing for Petrovic there is that he didn't jump. He didn't elevate high enough. Like if he extended up over top, if you watch him, once he's kind of settled in that position, there's some head contact. I'm not going to say there's not. There is. I mean, obviously he got buckled in that hit, and maybe, I know they're really calling those closely now, any contact to the head. Could they have missed one here? I don't think the intention was to hit him in the head here. I think he just wanted to finish a hard hit. I agree with you, Liam, is what I'm saying. Sometimes guys get hurt because guys are playing hard and they're trying to punish the opponent. Darnell Nurse, the slash he had on Hintz, I'm not going to sit here. Obviously he's hurt. He is hurt because here's the thing. He didn't play the next game. He didn't come back in that game. He didn't play the next game. So, as much as you thought it wasn't that much of a tap, and you've seen a lot worse in games, he didn't choke down the stick. He just whacked him like you see happens 10 times in a game. He caught him in a bad spot. Yes, it's a penalty for sure. And unfortunately for Hintz, he got hurt and he couldn't play in Game 3. And that's a huge loss for the Dallas Stars. Massive loss. So I understand why Dallas is upset about it. I think maybe in Game 3 you saw a little bit more venom. You saw some extra finishing. I think Big Bichel, you talked about that run-in he had with Ryan Nugent-Hopkins where he just fell into him, trying to play hard and get back and break up a play. Almost, pancake Nugent-Hopkins there. He's such a big kid at 21 years of age, man. He's going to be... Boy, look out for him in a few years. He's going to be a handful as how big and strong he is. And he seems to have, as a Swiss-born player, he seems to have that edge of competitiveness. Usually those are nice guys, aren't they?
Yeah.
Roger Federer. But you know what? He's got that mean streak in him, which you like to see. But I agree, Liam. Long-winded answer. It's playoff hockey. You are trying to punish your opponent. And if you inadvertently hurt someone, you don't want to hurt someone, but at the same time, that's what it's all about. It's a war of attrition. You're trying to make sure you're finishing every check. It's not necessarily for the first couple games. It could be for Game 6 or 7. You're trying to wear down the opponent, period.
Let's zero in on this game here tonight. It's weird looking back at that 6-1 win in Game 3, and I still didn't quite feel like it was a Picasso. I didn't feel like it was like they just dominated for 60 minutes. Like Stuart Skinner still had to be one of their better players. Dallas was the better team for the bulk of that game at 5-on-5 at least. So what do you want to maybe see, as weird as this sounds, what do the Oilers need to clean up from their 6-1 win?
I couldn't agree more. And I think that when you listen to the players and the coaching staff talk about, you got to take the win. Take the win, pat your goaltender, say thank you very much, Stuart Skinner, for having a strong game once again. The noise that he's felt throughout these playoffs, it's nice to see him having success right now. But here's the thing. It wasn't a great game, period. It was not a great game for Edmonton. Now, it was a great game in the sense that they weathered the storm. They went into the armadillo, I like to call it, where, you get the shell up and you just take punishment and you just hope that they don't find that soft spot where they can maybe turn you over and get to the belly. And they didn't. Dallas pushed. Dallas was really good in the forecheck. I thought Dallas was an extremely effective forechecking team, but I think Edmonton helped them. Edmonton helped them in the regard that they didn't handle the puck very well. They turned it over way too many times. And I think they would admit that. I think that's something they have to clean up. So if looking for a change and an adjustment, execute the outlet passes a little bit better. Get more aggressive on your own forecheck. Spend more time in the offensive zone. I think they went into a shell, tried to defend. We've seen them do that before throughout the playoffs in the last few years. And sometimes once you get into that rhythm, it's really difficult to kind of break out of it and get the momentum going your way when a team's feeling they're running lines and they're getting pucks in, they're spending time, they're getting shots. It's like that three-quarter dreaded game you talk about all the time. You're defending, you get to the red line, you dump it in, you get the heck off when the next line comes out, and here they come again barreling down on you. The only way you can kind of stop that cycle is to get on your own forecheck, and find ways to spend more time in the offensive zone, force the Dallas Stars to defend. And I think Edmonton will do that. This is, again, a team that seems to really respond well to games in which they didn't think they played very well. They're going to have some confidence that they can buckle down if they need to now, doing it in game number 3. I think they'll come out a little more assertive and try and do that. And, listen, for the Dallas Stars, that's the game plan. It has to be. I think they got caught being a little too aggressive at times. So that armadillo I'm talking about worked for Edmonton. It worked for Edmonton on the 3-on-1 goal, McDavid, the breakaway by Hyman, the 2-on-1 with Kane and Hyman was a brief 2-on-1 that he threaded it through for his second goal. That's 3 goals right off the transitional attack from an over-aggressive Dallas team trying to push. They had to push, but Edmonton's a pretty darn good team at counterattacking when they need to. So Dallas is going to have to tighten that up too. They just can't be that loose in letting Edmonton come back with those types of chances.
Yeah, and I love that. Again, there are obviously plenty of positives to come from that game. And the Oilers, as much as, and I know we've talked about this before, people seem to look at them as like, oh, they're a run and gun team with all these high-end offensive pieces. Like, no, they're a possession team. Like, when they're playing their best, it's because they're dominating from, like, the goal lines down on either side, where they win their battles at one end, win the battles at the other end, and keep the puck alive. And it is, in a way, I guess, nice to see that they do still have that run and gun in them. Like, part of what makes them such a tough out in a playoff series is they can beat you doing the run and gun. They can beat you doing the cycle. They can win 1-0. They can win 6-5. Like, that's why it's so hard to beat them 4 out of 7 times.
They're a good team. And I agree. They can morph into whatever they need to morph into, right? And we've seen it. Like, look at the Los Angeles Kings in round 1. I'm sorry, that Los Angeles Kings team was the best version of LA they faced in the 4 years. Yeah. And they had a 2-0 lead in the series and could have easily been up 3-0 or 3-1 in those 2 games at home. But they found a way. They dug deep, comeback wins, staying in the game, finding key scoring from different players. It's funny because Jack and I had a long conversation with Jack Eichel. We kind of cornered him one day in the room, and he was also giving us time, and he kind of went through, in their Stanley Cup run in 23, he said, we had everything go right. I know we've talked about this before, but you have to have all these things. You have to check these boxes. And one of those boxes, sometimes you have to be lucky. Sometimes you're going to be good. And you just have to take that in stride. Each and every game is a totally different adventure. And this team's pretty good at resetting and saying, okay, let's go back to the drawing board here and see if we can be a little bit better in this game. And I think the final 4 teams that are in the mix have all had to do that in some capacity. You don't just get to the conference final by walking your way through everybody. There's some adversity. There's things you have to deal with, and you have to go out and make adjustments each and every game in your individual game, but also in your team game as well. And you have to also wonder what the opposition is going to do and be ready for that counterattack. So there's a lot of moving parts, but I will say this team can morph into what they need to. And when they need to be physical, they can. When they need to be fast, they can be fast. Skilled, we know they have that. They put it all together. It's a pretty good formula for success if they put it together. So that's what they're going to try and do in Game 4.
It's 25 some degrees in Edmonton today. You getting in a pre-game round of golf?
Right now, head out. So, yeah.
I love it, Louie. All right, well, we won't keep you from that.
All right.
See you, Louie.
Thanks, guys. Sorry for missing yesterday, too. Sorry for leaving you hanging. It won't happen again.
Hey, don't apologize to us.
You got to never happens again.
You got to apologize to the chat. They're the ones that get mad. We don't get mad, but the chat gets pissed.
Yeah. All right. Sorry, chat.
There you go.
Won't happen again.
See you, Louie. There you go. Louie DeBrusk's appearances on the show brought to you by Litco Law. Our guest line also brought to you by Tourism Jasper. Jasper is open, vibrant, and ready to welcome you back for more unforgettable moments. Hey, Louie, maybe go play JPL this summer, hey? Nice little round of golf in the mountains. Yeah. Tourism Jasper, your best summer memories aren't behind you. They're waiting for you this summer in Jasper. Plan your trip at jasper.travel/summer. It is a Sherwood Ford Giant game day edition of the show here. It is game 4 of the Western Conference Finals. Got to give some love to our friends at Sherwood Ford the Giant and the Nation Valet Service. Never visit the dealership again for your routine car maintenance. They pick up your vehicle wherever you are in the Edmonton area. I'm in St. Albert. They do it for me. Liam's in Sherwood Park. They do it for Liam. Obviously, they wouldn't Sherwood Park. Wherever you are in the city, they'll pick up your vehicle, do the work, drive it right back to you. Nation Valet Service, only available at Sherwood Ford the Giant. And you know what else is only available at Sherwood Ford the Giant?
Sherbucks.
Sherbucks.
Wow.
This is the best one yet.
The best game notes yet?
Yes, it is.
All right, game notes from our friends at Sherwood Ford the Giant. Let's go.
Edmonton possesses Game 4 magic, having won their last 8 Game 4 matchups dating back to 2023. This impressive streak showcases their great ability to rebound and assert dominance. Let's go Oilers!
The Oilers have Otter's number. The Oilers have scored 24 goals in the last 7 playoff games against the Dallas Stars. Let's go Oilers!
Hi, Mike here. Zach Hyman brings the boom. Dominating Game 3 with 2 goals, an assist, and 10 hits. He now leads all playoff skaters with 110 hits. Let's go Oilers!
That was some unbelievable visual
Production
effects.
value on that is insane.
They're mixing in CGI. They're evolving.
This is crazy.
That was great
We're
stuff.
going to have to start appearing on their show soon.
Also, you see David's thumb?
That was nuts. God,
I don't know how to do that.
Crazy. You don't know how to do that, isn't it like this? Boop, boop. I don't know. I can get your nose, though.
Great stuff. Shout out to our friends at Sherwood Ford the Giant. Shout out to Giant Mike and the whole crew at the dealership.
That was nuts.
Honestly, I don't even want to use this Sherwood Ford Giant question because I'm too into the playoffs. But Frank Saravalli has a new trade targets list.
Well, we can.
Okay, we can do it quickly. What trade? We won't even do Oilers' perspective. What name on this list intrigues you the most heading into the summer? 1 through 20. For those of you listening on the podcast, I'll rattle them off quick. This is in order, 1 through 20. JJ Peterka, Chris Kreider, Marco Rossi, Bowen Byram, Jonathan Marchessault, Rasmus Anderson, Eric Carlson, Connor Murphy, John Gibson, Keandre Miller, Vladimir Tarasenko, Elvis Merzlikins, Lucas Reichel, Eric Holla, Morgan Riley, Pavel Zacha / Morgan Geekie, David Kemp, Thatcher Demko, Jamie Alexiak, Elias Pettersson.
Marco Rossi.
Yeah. Why are they trying to trade that guy?
Yeah, I don't know. A few years ago, you were saying they were trying to buy out Philippe Gustafsson, and no one bought it. Let's not do this again. League, like if they want to give up on like a young guy, let's just go get him.
Yeah,
like he's a really good player. Center, wing, whatever you kind of want. He'd be my guy. The rest of them are a little bit old.
Yeah,
Turco would be good.
Rasmus Anderson and what happens there in Calgary is interesting. Will anyone buy on Eric Carlson? I think is fascinating. At 20, obviously, Elias Pettersson's no movement clause kicks in. I think July 1. Is Vancouver, again, that no movement clause goes the rest of his deal.
Yeah.
If you're Vancouver and you want to cut bait, you have to cut bait now.
What does he make?
11?
11.6.
11.6?
Yeah.
That's awful.
I, for some reason, thought he was 8, but that was his last deal. I was going to say, if he's $8 million, someone I would consider. But he's not, so I wouldn't. Thatcher Demko, if he was healthy, I'd also take him. But again, he's not. Otherwise, he wouldn't be 18th on the list.
I'm going to throw you a question that I hate doing because, again, I'd rather just be talking playoffs. And this is a conversation that's so far away. If the Toronto Maple Leafs called you up and said, we need a different look.
Toronto.
Would you trade Darnell Nurse for Morgan Riley straight up?
No.
No.
Too damaged.
But
I know Pettersson's damaged, but also he's 26.
Yeah.
What's Morgan Riley now? Way older than I thought. I think he's 31 now.
He's 31, Nurse is 30, so they're pretty much the same age.
Yeah.
Their contracts end at the same time. Riley's 7.5 compared to 9.15.
I'd pay the extra couple million.
I'm paying for the dog.
I'm paying for the dog. I'm paying for the leader. I'm paying for the guy that's out in our community every week.
Yep.
Like stuff like that for me,
Yeah.
Daryl makes himself valuable. A lot of no's, and then Pete puts in yes. He must be a Leafs fan.
Yeah. Someone said bad karma talking about trades for the playoffs over. Absolutely. We're just doing it because, I don't know.
We got to
We
extend
needed a
the
giant
show.
question.
Yeah, we needed a giant question
People
for our
pay
friends
for
at Shorts
this,
for the Giant. Come on. Anyways, shout out to everyone who continued donating, by the way. We're at $796. If you just joined us, today would have been Ben Stelter's 9th birthday. I'm pointing at the whiteboard. Sorry. There we go. Today would have been Ben Stelter's 9th birthday. So, to give the Stelter family a little bit of love, all of our super chats every day go to the Ben Stelter Foundation, but we'd love to raise, call it $900, $999 for the Ben Stelter Foundation today. So drop in a super chat if you can and give some love to the Ben Stelter Foundation. All right, Liam, let's do a lineup report for tonight's hockey game. Our lineup report today is brought to you by Douglas Mattress. I sleep like a baby every night on my Douglas. Last night, window cracked open a little bit, so you smell that little fresh rain air.
Was nice.
As soon as I hit the Douglas, I was out like a light, and you can be sleeping like a light. You can sleep as good as I do on a Douglas. Great value starting at just $599 and free shipping across Canada through their convenient mattress in a box delivery. And here's the best part. If you don't like it, I'm telling you, you're going to love it. They have an industry-leading 365-night trial to be sure you love it. Free returns if not, and then they take the mattress if you don't love it and donate it to a local charity. And also, they were started in Edmonton. Their first store is in Edmonton, so it's a local Edmonton charity as well. Check them out, douglas.ca/nation. People love to ask me, they're like, do you actually? And it's like, yeah, like I legitimately sleep on a Douglas every night. I love it. Lance, Tyler beating up some man named Douglas. Maybe. if it came down to it. Yeah. Pause.
How do you do that under the stairs?
That is an OG Oilers Nation everyday joke. Another $20 donation, and thank you very much, Borsod.
Thank you. Over $800 now.
Connor Brown out, Victor Arvidsson in. This is the right call. I'm personally very excited to see what Victor Arvidsson can bring to the table. We saw Kasperi Kapanen come back in, full of juice, fired up. I think we're going to see a very good effort from Victor Arvidsson in this hockey game.
I agree. He only needs to play about 10, 11 minutes. Sounds like he's going to play with Janmark and Podkolzin, which obviously leads the question of who do you put next to Leon Draisaitl? The answer is Evander Kane, hopefully. Evander Kane, 3 points last game. He had a really good game. So I would do that. No Ekholm still. I know Louis said he would play.
Yeah, Knobloch said earlier this morning it was undecided. And then, Ekholm will not play in game 4, according to Tony.
Pickett back on the bench, though.
That's good.
Obviously, I wrote an article today at Oilers Nation. We spoke about it yesterday, how the penalty kill is actually doing really well at the moment. These last 6 games, it's only allowed a goal in one of them. Obviously, it resulted in them losing the game, unfortunately, because of how bad it kind of was. Brown is a key part of that penalty kill. So I ran the numbers, Aaron, if we have the numbers. So this is, okay, so it had to be a bit weird.
Okay.
So I am not that good at Google Sheets. So Brett Kulak averaged 2 minutes and 24 seconds on the penalty kill. So take away the last column. We just got a $200 donation from Mistaken Mexican too. So thank you.
Hey, got us to our goal. Mistaken Mexican, you are the man. We love you. He said, happy birthday, Ben. Can't wait to see the Oilers pull off a win here tonight. You are the best.
You're the best. So as you can see here, Vasily Podkolzin has not played on the penalty kill yet in this series against the Dallas Stars.
But he only did 42 seconds against the Golden Knights. Is that average or total?
Average over that span.
So he would get basically one shift per game on the PK against LA and Vegas.
Essentially, yes. I broke down all the numbers. He played on the penalty kill every single game besides the last game against Vegas, game 5. So I think he'll be the one who kind of substitutes himself in to come onto the penalty kill instead of Connor Brown this time around. Arvidsson, you can see, doesn't really do it at all. He played a little bit in the first game. I think that actually might have just been one game. Let me just double check it. Played 2 games. Game 2, game 3 on the penalty kill. Besides that, not so much. Draisaitl is not such in the penalty kill at all, which is somewhat surprising. I thought they might even get him out there just to win a draw. But you can see if you look a little closer too, Bouchard's minutes have got way higher, up to 2 minutes and 10 seconds on the power play, on the penalty kill, sorry. Connor McDavid also playing just over a minute on the penalty kill, along with Zach Hyman, who started with 34 seconds in round 1, now up to 1:16 on the penalty kill. They've really limited how many players are on there now as well.
Yeah, and they might be forced to change that, obviously, with Connor Brown out.
Yeah, a little bit.
So, simple solution to this whole no Connor Brown on the PK tonight. Don't take penalties.
That's a good. They've taken 4 penalties in their last 2 games, so that's good.
Nobby, if you need more great coaching advice, hit me up.
Yep.
Can you just flash that back up, Aaron, just because I want to see sort of the forward. So who would you have tonight? You can use Nuge, you can use Henrique. That duo, a lot of the times, goes out there to start the PK.
Wins the draw,
and they're both off the ice, and it's usually like a Brown Janmark or something coming right over. But again, you can start Nuge and Henrique probably. Okay, you have Janmark, who they lean on heavily. You can lean on that McDavid Hyman maybe a touch more tonight because it's a one-off. And then honestly, I wouldn't have a problem. Again, no matter what the whistle is, you have the ability to change because you can't obviously get an icing penalty or an icing infraction on the PK. I would simply start with Nuge and Henrique, or if you need to do like a Nuge Janmark, and then as soon as it's cleared, I would just put Kapanen out there or Podkolzin. You can trust Podkolzin. In the limited sample size, I'm not overly worried about the PK as my long-winded way of coming to that conclusion.
No, I agree. Podkolzin would be mine just because he's been on it essentially the entire run besides Dallas. So that was what I would do. I think the penalty kill since game 3 onwards is at like 79%.
And I love McDavid on the PK as that little just curveball.
Yeah.
Curveball. Ooh.
Yeah, it's been fantastic.
Like that curveball grip? Curveball.
Is that how you do it?
Yep.
Can you show me a knuckleball?
I go 3 fingers pressed on the horseshoe with my pinky and thumb flat.
Damn. That's good.
Not that I'm good at throwing a knuckleball. I'm kind of good at it.
Okay, all right.
All right, let's continue along with the show. Should we do our betting talk for the day?
Let's get to it.
Game Day Betting Challenge brought to you by Bet365. Download the app today. Use the code NATION. Bet365 is an official partner of the Stanley Cup playoffs, and they got you covered no matter what your bet is. Game props, player props, totals, and money line. You can even bet on futures like series winners. If you want to get in on the action for the Stanley Cup playoffs, download the app and get in on the game. Must be 19 or older. Again, an official partner of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Where's Jay? Where's Jay? Jay's in London. Talked about it last week on the pod.
Got a bit jealous today
because he was at Arsenal Stadium
posting all over that. Yeah, that was cool. And then he posted one of the road. Did you see that picture?
It said "Look right,"
look left, look left, look right. Yeah, I don't know. Brought me back a little bit. Jay, if you're watching, can you bring me back a little treat? Lucozade Sport orange flavor.
A what?
A Lucozade Sport orange flavor.
Oh, you want me to text him that?
Sure, that would be lovely.
What's that called?
Where's Jay?
Lucozade Sport Orange.
Liam wants you to bring
Can you say
back
please?
a Lucozade Sport Orange flavor if there's room in your bag.
Please.
Please.
There you go. Yeah, that's it. No, oh wait. Yeah, it has
like
to be
Sunny
the,
D. That
has
looks
to
like
be the
Sunny D.
Sport, not the orange one. The other one's fizzy.
That's Sport.
Yeah, there you go. Lucozade Sport. The other one's good too. I believe it. Lucozade was once a big partner with.
I said he's very sick, homesick, looking at your post.
Yeah, I did with Tomb Raider.
Oh,
remember that?
Angelina Jolie or the new one?
Angelina.
Good.
The OG.
New one sucks.
All right, Bet365 Game Day. Hey, Randy dropped in $69.99. Happy birthday, Ben. So thank you, Randy, for dropping in that as well. We are now well over $1,000 raised today
awesome.
for the Ben Stelter Foundation. Everyone in the chat, you guys are the best.
Yeah, a great day.
Great
day.
Okay, betting challenge. You and Jay both went money line last game. You won. Woo! I didn't. I lost. That's upsetting.
1-10.
Yeah. Yeah. Not good. But the one I hit was a banger. It was a 5-unit banger. So here's what I got for tonight. I needed my shot props last game. I'm keeping it a little bit more simple, but I'm still betting on the Stars. Connor 2 points. Leon goal held out of the goal column last game. Money line, it's plus 350. Interesting?
Money, yeah, that is a good
Oh, yeah.
one.
Jay's only doing carry on. He won't be able to get liquids through.
Please, you can get them in out of the airport. This isn't like just go to W.H. Smith's in the airport. You'll be fine. Did he reply?
No.
Oh. Yeah, I'll have to get out of the airport. I have blue Lucozade, Liam. No, it's orange, Russ. And you have that every day. It's not a luxury for you.
Yeah. You don't know how good you have it. So that's my pick. Jay's going money line. Liam, you're going.
Oilers money line. Oilers over 3.5. Connor McDavid, 2+ points, plus 210.
I like this.
Yeah,
I'm probably tailing you in my personal life.
And yeah, that's a good one.
Someone said Kane goal tonight. Here's Jay's bet. Money line. Lame.
Yeah.
We need Evander Kane to score twice tonight, and we're going to cash our plus 900 same game or same series parlay for the future bet.
Yeah.
If you missed it, we did Bouch to score over 1.5, Hyman to score over 1.5, Kane to score over 1.5 in the series, and we're just missing you, Evander.
And if he's playing,
and he scores in bunches,
he does.
Playing with Leon Draisaitl.
Where did you hear that?
I know where. I just put 2 and 2 together. Someone said that.
Why would
Podkolzin, I think Knobloch said he's going to put pods with Arvidsson and Janmark.
Really? He did.
Yeah.
Jack Michaels had a tweet
Yeah,
about
so there you go. So therefore, the assumption would be Kane goes up, Brown obviously out, so that's Arvidsson, and then you just flip Pods and
This
Kane.
isn't it, but this is the best I can do for you. That's
There
what
you go.
DFO has.
Yeah, I
but
would
Jack
guess.
Michaels said, sounds like Arvidsson will return to a line with Janmark and Podkolzin.
Unless they move
So the
up.
fourth line again?
Yeah, and they're not going to
Well, so we did update them at DFO, actually. I just
they
saw.
did? Okay.
Yeah. So McDavid, Draisaitl, Perry, Nuge, Kane, Hyman, Henrique, Frederick, Kapanen, Janmark, Podkolzin, and Arvidsson. So again, this is something we did see, and I'll pull up the full report here to give you the data on it, the numbers. The Oilers did go pretty hard to the blender in that last game.
They did.
So the McDavid, Hyman, Nuge played 640 together. Draisaitl, Podkolzin, Kapanen played 516. But then you had McDavid, Draisaitl, Perry play almost 5 minutes together. Henrique, Kane, Brown, 443. Nuge, Kane, Hyman, 358. Like, Knobloch wasn't liking what he was seeing. They ended up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9 different combinations of forwards play at least 90 seconds together. That's very high. So they obviously weren't loving what they were seeing at 5-on-5. They're gonna or wanted to switch it up. So it makes sense. But Kane on the second line with Nugent Hyman, that line is one of the best lines in the entire Stanley Cup playoffs through a round and a half.
Yeah, they were great. They were really, really good.
The
And it
expected
shows
numbers,
to me
everything. Yeah.
They're trying to put a foot on the throat tonight.
McDavid, Draisaitl, Perry with last change. I get it. Janmark, Podkolzin, Arvidsson. That's a line you can actually trust in your own end pretty well.
Yeah.
And then Henrique, Frederick, Kapanen. That's actually probably your fourth line, if we're being totally honest.
Yeah, yes, I would agree. I like it, though.
Yep. It's
I
not
like
terrible.
it.
All right. Should we wrap up the show here with a little bit of keys to victory for our friends at Sherwood Power Sports and Marine? Boat season, fishing season, basically just outdoor season is here. It's so nice outside. If you haven't gotten your motorcycle, your ATV, your boat, if you haven't gotten it tuned up yet, got to go see our friends at Sherwood Power Sports and Marine. They also offer door-to-door service just like their friends over at Sherwood Ford. The Giant Lake season is here. Be prepared. You don't want it to be July and you're like, oh, my boat's not ready to go. That's no fun. Get the work done now. Sherwood Power Sports and Marine. What's the key to victory, Liam?
Special teams for me. I think, I know special teams is taken Dallas to this point. The others got to keep killing them on the power play and just creating their own chances on their own power plays too. So, yeah, that's it for me. I think you can handle them at 5-on-5. And don't take dumb penalties.
No dumb penalties. That's kind of a given. Yes, I agree. You can handle them at 5-on-5. You just have to play better. And like I talked about with Louie, I'll keep that going as sort of my key to victory here. Below the goal lines on either side. I felt like the Oilers had some real sloppy passes coming out of their own zone last game. Their wingers also probably weren't great. There was just too much of like, it's in their feet or it's on their stick and there's pressure on them and they're either not getting it out or they're just doing the thing where like they just have to chip it out. Dallas goes and gets it and came right back in.
Yeah.
You need to get some clean zone exits here. And then on the other side, they did it really well in the first period, but not good in the second, forcing Dallas behind their own goal line to cough up some pucks, get it on the forecheck, create some mistakes, create some turnovers. And again, Edmonton is at their best when they're hemming the other team in, forcing them to stay in their own zone for 90 plus seconds at a time. That's where they're going to get their goals.
100%.
Jay has responded. What the hell is it? I'll see what I can do.
It is a drink.
Like Gatorade.
Watch the show.
Watch the show, yeah.
My key to victory is the guy on the right. Look at those numbers.
Unbelievable.
I just wanted to show it.
Pat had another one on DFO Live today. I don't know if you grabbed it, of their game-by-game comparisons through this series. And, like, this is crazy, man. They faced, like, a relatively similar workload, with the exception being Stu last game getting north of 30 shots. But Andre, 889, 880, 750. Like,
Sure.
damn. That's crazy. And he kind of got hung out to dry in the third period of that last game because Dallas, especially at the end, was very much just pushing for offense and like the odd man rushes were killing him. But
yeah.
I don't know, man. Edmonton seems to have this guy's number. Playing at Rogers Place has never been kind to Jake Ottinger. So Stuart Skinner for the second straight Western Conference Finals looking like the better goalie. And here's the other fun thing. We may have gotten through the tough parts for Skinner because he's always good in games 4 through 7.
Yeah, he's not great in the first 3 typically, but yeah, we'll take it. We'll take what we get from Mr. Skinner.
Yeah. And again, like, who knows how this plays out? Stuart Skinner, knock on wood, could be bad tonight. Could be bad for, like, you just don't know. But like in this moment sitting here, when I look at the way Stuart Skinner's playing, and it's like, this is why you just don't give up on young goalies. Like, he's still 25, 26 years old. Like, if Dallas gets bounced, and let's go this way. Dallas gets bounced in 5 games, and Ottinger's terrible in both of them, in both these final 2. Do you think Dallas goes into the summer and is like, time to trade him? We don't have a goalie who can win us big games late in the playoffs.
Got to get John Gibson.
Got to go get John Gibson. Like, Dallas doesn't do that. And listen, it's different. It's not apples to apples because Ottinger and Hellebuck give, like, Vezina caliber results in the regular season, and Ottinger's a lot younger. I get it. But, like, is Winnipeg sitting there being like, this Hellebuck guy's just not going to be it for us? No, they're not.
No.
And, like, you can look back at so many. Is Boston going to trade Jeremy Swayman this summer? No.
Very unlikely.
They're going to give him a chance to bounce back. He was also great at the Worlds. But, like, go back through a bunch of other examples. What if San Jose had just been a touch more patient with Aiden Hill?
Yeah.
They have their goalie of the future, right? What if New Jersey hadn't overreacted to Blackwood's injuries and given him a proper chance to recover? They probably don't have to waste all the assets they traded for Markstrom and Jake Allen. And, like, that's kind of where I wanted to go is, like, New Jersey has a young goalie. They decide they can't be patient with him. They trade him for nothing at a low point in his value. And then what do they have to do the next 2 years? They're chasing their tail trying to find another goalie. Got to trade picks for Allen. Got to go get Vanacek. Got to go get Jacob Markstrom and trade a first-round pick. And it's like, you're just going to be at a point. Look at what Buffalo did. They sat there. They had Allmark. They said, this guy's not worth paying. Granted, again, different because he was on bad teams. But, like, this guy's not going to be our guy. We got to move him. Okay, and now you're sitting there as Levi, UPL. I guess they kind of got lucky, but, like, as soon as you trade a goalie who's proven he can play at the NHL level, you run around trying to find the next guy.
Because it's hard to find elite goalies, too. Like, I think just having a solid goalie who you know can win you games from time to time is something that teams just have to be satisfied with.
Yeah.
Because like you said, like, you could chase these goalies forever. It took Edmonton forever to find another good goalie after Cam Talbot left.
Yeah. Philly, Sergei Bobrovsky, same thing. Imagine Philly has never found a goalie. They had one, got impatient with them, chasing their tail, trying to find another new goalie.
Yeah.
We watched Doobie become an all-star.
Yeah, like, come on.
Check out Ask Doobie as well. I think that comes out tomorrow.
Yeah, a new episode of Ask Doobie is going to drop tomorrow as well. Flood the YouTube comments if you have questions for Doobie. Obviously, love having that show going and on our network. You can also find it now wherever you get your podcast from. It's on the Oilers Nation radio feed, or you can just search up Ask Doobie and you will find it. Hockey Jockey, don't ask stupid fucking questions. Jesus Christ, man. You're getting a 24-hour for being the dumb on game day. 24. Boom. Gone. Bye-bye. Okay. Game day. AB down at Greta. Bud Light specials. Pitchers of beer on special. Half-price wings every game day. Pop-up shop. Tarps off for the pop-up shop.
Do it.
I just wanted to show everyone the OBC, Oily Boys Club shirt that our girl Kennedy designed. She's going to have those down at the pop-up shop today as well. So get down to Greta, have a little pregame brewski, have a little pregame meal with the wings, pick up your shirt. Always a good time. Call if you want to reserve your spot and be safe as well. Aaron's live pre- and post-game starting at 5 o'clock tonight. Doobie,
Zachary, myself, Brett, and Doobie said it. I've got it in text form. If the Oilers were to win 2 more games in this round, he's coming to Edmonton, and he's coming to Greta Bar-Yeg.
What a dog, Doobie. All right, giddy up.
Giddy up.
Going to be a fun night at Greta. I think I might go. Gonna mow my grass when I get home. Then I might be in the mood for a little sweet treat. And by sweet treat, I mean a beer at
They
Greta.
also have ice cream at Greta.
Yeah.
They do, and it's unreal.
It
is really good ice cream. It's like a hard, soft serve.
That's kind of an oxymoron.
Once you know, you know. Wings are unreal, too. Chicken flavor.
Yeah. I asked Liam, what flavor wings you got there? And he just, deadpan, chicken. That's just the most Liam English humor thing. And they're delicious flavored.
Yeah, crunchy.
All right, boys.
Yep.
That's a wrap on today's edition of the show. Louie was great. Tomorrow, should we say it? Do we say it? Do we not say it?
He is confirmed.
He's confirmed to be a new weekly guest every Wednesday on Oilers Nation every day.
Yeah.
I just got his email.
Yeah,
and I mean, we got the text.
From him?
From Amel, but
close enough.
I mean, we went through the proper channels this time to get him. Tomorrow and every Wednesday, as long as the Edmonton Oilers are alive in the playoffs, Pat Maroon, the big rig on Oilers Nation every day. Will he understand our nonsense? It's always, you never know. You never know.
I got a question for him.
I would hope so.
You know what to say now? And then you can have 24 hours to maul on it.
There's an easy one. See ya.
Oh, don't do 24.
Oh, I'm doing 24 for him. I don't care.
Oh, my God.
Big rig. Do your prep, Liam. Get ready. It's going to be fun. Yeah, see, I only wanted to keep the show going so I could see all the cool chats about how fired up people are for it. What should we ask them? I don't know.
I got a question.
I want to know which question is.
So, I always wanted to know if when a player is traded, do they feel like they were traded for less than they should have been? Because remember when the Oilers traded Barron, it was a 3rd-round pick, and J.D. Dudek, was that his name, something like that?
Yeah, it was J.D. Dudek,
yeah,
Liam. You should know that.
And like, then I wonder if he looked at it and be like, really?
Are you guys fucking serious?
Like, I wasn't like 2nd-round pick? Like, who's this J.D. Dudek kid?
I had a game day challenge for you. I forgot.
Oh, yeah.
Do we have the timer? All right, we're going to see if Liam can end the show on a high note. I'm trying to decide if I should give you I'm going to give you oh, see the timer at the top of the screen?
Jeez.
You have 30 seconds. Can you name me 5 players who played for both the Dallas Stars and Edmonton Oilers? Your time starts now.
Yeah, Mark Petrovic, Perry, Klingberg, and Richard Backman.
Oh, Backman's a good pull. You only need 9 seconds. I should have said, can we restart the timer? Okay, you can use Bachman. I'll give you that.
Okay, so give me 1.
They're not that are not playing in this series.
Okay.
Go. Wait. Now, that's giving them too much time to think. Don't think about it. The other players.
And go.
Mark Fistrick, Alice Hemsky, Sean Horkoff, Philip Larson. So I just named
10. Okay, that was very easy.
8, 9, I guess.
I thought putting you on the clock would rattle you a little bit.
Well, that's like a very... There's a lot of connections.
There's a lot of
in those
connections.
Teams.
All right, good
job,
job,
buddy.
buddy.
So bad, and all that good players just went to Dallas.
Yeah.
Well, sorry to do that.
Good show today. Good job, Aaron. Tune in tomorrow. Tune into pre-post game tonight, 5 o'clock, live from Greta Bar Yegg. And tomorrow, noon Mountain Time, breaking down potentially a 3-1 series lead in the conference finals. And Pat Maroon's on the show. Does life get any better than this? Enjoy the game tonight, everybody. Oil up.